Before the arrival of man to these shores, Kauri giants inhabited the misty forests of the North Island. A mere 4% of the Kauri that once covered this land remain, and it has only been in recent years that what was lost has begun to regenerate. But a new threat to the survival of Kauri has emerged, killing trees in the hundreds. And the culprit? It's microscopic. Phytophthora taxon Agathis, or Kauri dieback disease, a minuscule spore capable of killing giants. The disease is already present in several of Auckland's regional parks, but the spread is preventable with your help. Senior Ranger Alison Davis is in charge of conservation in the Waitakere Ranges Regional Park.
Auckland Regional Council is the first agency in New Zealand to bring the attention of this disease to the public. If this disease gets away, it could devastate our forests in the ranges and we would lose a lot of our canopy.
Dr. Nick Waipara is the Auckland Regional Council's leading expert on Kauri dieback and has been studying the disease in the hope of finding a cure.
PTA is a plant disease which has come into New Zealand and has been infecting through the root system kauri trees. It infects the roots and moves straight up to the trunk, the base of the trunk, and starts to infect the wood immediately behind the bark. And what kauri do when they're infected by diseases is that they produce this gum here, which you're seeing as a response to the infection. Eventually, if this continues, the PTA pathogen will ring bark or girdle the tree, which means it starves the tree of nutrients, and that starvation of nutrients means that the canopy begins to die. The leaves fall off, they become discoloured, and whole branches die as well. This spore does not move by itself, it has to be carried or transferred with the movement of infested soil. And one of the ways it's getting around the Auckland region is through the dirty footwear that people who walk in one kauri forest and then 6 months later even go to another kauri forest can still transfer those spores if they haven't washed their shoes.
It's due to this human movement that PTA has spread across the North Island, from Awhitu in the south to Pakiri in the north. The disease has even been detected in Waipoua Forest, home of the largest kauri, Tāne Mahuta. But Kauri dieback is not restricted to regional parks. Private land is also at risk. Many landowners who have kauri on their property are unaware of PTA and the threat that it poses. Wes Bycroft is a landowner who knows firsthand how devastating the disease can be.
The kauri trees around here are really important to us because we've lived with them for 37 years and we've got to know some of them almost like on a personal basis. And we look at their annual cycles, we see when they start to produce new leaves in spring. We are aware of the cones that have been falling over the last few weeks. We first noticed that there was something wrong with a big tree. This foliage thinned, and then over time we noticed the bleeding going on. When the tree eventually died, we were pretty upset because when we first came here, we had a little batch just here, and we used to walk past that tree on a daily basis, and so I used to give it a cuddle every now and then, and so losing it was kind of like losing a friend, really, and we were pretty upset, and we just didn't know what we could do about it. I think all landowners who've got kauri trees on their property should be aware of PTA, because it's the whole problem of that if one tree gets infected, then you're going to very easily, there's the potential for moving it onto other trees.
A big part of our management program is to know where Kauri dieback is. So for landowners or neighbours of landowners or anyone walking around, well, anywhere really, and they see some sick or suspiciously ill or dying kauri trees, then we really want people to report that to us.
We've done quite a lot of survey work to try and see if we can delimit where the disease is. This is both on parkland and also on private land. We've put out phytosanitary stations, which are essentially places where people can clean their footwear when they come onto the park.
The best way for anyone visiting kauri forest and to stop kauri dieback from spreading is to follow the instructions and the signs that you'll see at the parks or on the tracks. And what the Auckland Regional Council has done is also put in phyto stations at track entrances with disinfectant and brushes to help people clean their shoes before they enter and when they leave again. Make sure when you're planning to visit a kauri forest that you wash your shoes and other equipment you're taking to the forest before you leave home, and then again when you get home.
We've done a little bit of surveillance to see what the use of the stations are in terms of people cleaning their footwear, and we've found that unfortunately it varies between 40 to 60%.
But it is a change in behaviour for anyone visiting kauri forest, and it's a necessary change because otherwise the spread and the infection will continue.
Animals, pigs or possums or even weeds are something that people can see and relate to, but this Phytophthora disease, PTA, is microscopic. It's invisible really to the naked eye, and I think people probably aren't taking it as seriously as they should be, and yet the potential for this disease to really devastate our kauri forests is as bad as any animal pest or weed.
The kauri tree is part of our history. It's part of our legacy, and we've cut down so many of these magnificent trees in the past that to lose them to a disease and lose that legacy is really, you just don't want to contemplate it.